Thank you, Sink or Swim Storyboard. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1294 of What's She Up To Now, documenting my journey as I transition throughout different types of businesses, from the online world, well, onto the online world, transform to the online world, and then a little bit back and forth in 2021 and beyond. I would imagine that and beyond. I don't ever plan on doing anything super duper short term. I guess my last manufacturing business was like for 35 years I did that. So I guess I like to do long-term things. Corporate America over a quarter century. But what I want to do is just share with you what I'm doing right now with respect to the online world, what I'm doing online in terms of content that I'm creating. Talk about once in a while why I'm doing that, but not today. Today, just going to talk about what I'm doing because it's Sunday and I want to get ready for the week ahead. My amazing 6-year-old granddaughter is coming back for the next couple of weeks before school starts. She had summer school for 2 weeks and I really, really missed her the last couple of weeks. She keeps me going, keeps me young, keeps me actually moving, and causes me to have more structure in my day, believe it or not, than when I don't have her with me. So I only get 2 more weeks of that fun structure, and then it's back to just being me and doing my own thing. So today, our annual challenge this year is all about you, getting to know yourself better, and we're using a little journal book called Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You. And today it was about, you know, thank you cards and sending thank you notes, and or thanking and being grateful to somebody for something. And I realized that I have really gotten out of the habit of doing that. I used to do it. I used to make postcards. I used to make thank you notes and send them to people like on a regular basis. It was just part of my every week routine. Every day I would just automatically shoot off some thank yous or some gratitude to people. And I've fallen away from that, maybe because all of us have become much more self-centered since COVID-19, much more focused on taking care of ourselves and being separated from people, and at a time when we should be thanking them and appreciating them more and causing more connection, we've actually been pushing people away. At least that's what I've been observing. Spent some time with my cousin and his wife and my sisters and brother-in-law and mom yesterday, which was fantastic because it reminds me that even though all of us don't agree on different, I don't know two humans that agree on everything and anything. If you've been married, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it was fun to be with a group of people that we love and respect each other anyway, whether we agree with one another or not, on things like religion and politics and spirituality and gender and things like that. And so it was really an awesome afternoon and into the evening that I spent with them. And I think we need to do more of that. We need to be connecting and finding out what our similarities are, not what we disagree on. And guess what? That's how many of us, actually the majority of us, have lived our lives. It's appreciating the differences, and I didn't mean to get off on this tangent, but it really was brought home yesterday that what we're seeing in the world and what's being publicized, because that's what the media and the news and even social media is absolutely positively not what is going on in this country. And if you doubt that, go out and spend some time with people and just observe and watch and talk to people and see for yourself what is really going on. And of course, it's going to depend on your environment. If you're in an inner city, if you're in Minneapolis, what you're going to see is going to be, or observe, is going to be different than what you see out in the suburbs where I happen to be. It's very different. Believe me, the sanity of the average human being in America is still there. Just because we have a few loudmouths that are looking for their 15 minutes of fame and power doesn't mean that's what's going on in the rest of the country and the rest of the world. So keep the faith, believe in yourself, do what's right for you and your family and those you love and care about, but don't let go of your morals and your values and your beliefs. Hold fast to those things, because there's definitely an evil wave trying to manipulate us, and we don't have to choose to fall for it. We can choose not to participate. That's what I adopted a long time ago. Actually, over 10 years ago, I adopted the philosophy, I choose not to participate in your drama. I choose not to participate in your negativity. I choose not to participate in your false beliefs and your perspective on the world, because it's definitely not mine. So thank you notes. Remember to get together, thank one another, appreciate each other for what is, not for what you wish was or what isn't, because that's not reality. So often we get sucked into things that are just made up and not reality. I woke up this morning thinking about that and thinking about one thing in particular, and it really, really makes me angry and upset, but I choose not to talk about it because I know it's political, because it's a made-up political thing that would cause a lot of strife. That's not what I'm looking to do. I'm not looking to divide more. I'm looking to create what's right for the people that I serve. So thank people. Our idiom for today was sink or swim, and I of course threw my lifesaver. I had a little lifesaver I threw because I like to throw things in my videos. That reminds me and reminds us that, yeah, sink or swim are two options. You can get thrown in a body of water, and if you don't know how to swim, or if you don't float, you can sink to the bottom and drown. But are those really our only two alternatives? Is it really either you do it all by yourself, which many of us in business think that we're given this false belief, here we go, false beliefs again, that we have to do everything ourselves. Absolutely, absolutely not true, right? A lot of people that are successful, I would hazard a guess that no one that has been successful that we would look at and see as successful has gotten there all on their own. Nobody who's super successful, super rich, super anything, an Olympic athlete, none of them have gotten there on their own. None of these NBA stars, none of the NFL, none of the NHL, I don't know very much about sports, but I'll throw it out there. None of these athletes, none of these movie stars, none of these super successful industrialists, manufacturing, any area or aspect or industry where there's the rising stars, none of those people have gotten there all by themselves. So why on earth would we convince ourselves that we should be able to do it all by ourselves? Why does this get me so impassioned? Because I used to believe that. I bought into, well, if you want to succeed, it's all up to you and you have to work hard. And it's either you'll do it, you'll either sink or swim. You'll either figure it out or you'll die and you'll fail. Really? Those are the only two options? I don't think so. So we can continue to believe that, or we can open up our mind and eyes and we can say, well, what else is possible? What else could be possible? What else might be possible in this situation? It's like thinking that you've got a problem or a challenge. COVID-19. COVID-19 pops up in your life. Did any of us anticipate or look for that? I'm sure there's some people that did, but I definitely wasn't one of them, and neither were the thousands of people I work with. And no, none of us really had in our contingency plans, well, what if there's a pandemic? I mean, we had, what if there's a flood? What if there's a tornado, what if there's a tsunami? What if there's a hurricane, depending on where you live and where your business is? You have those type of weather acts of God contingencies, but nobody had COVID-19 that I'm aware of, or pandemic in their plan, unless you're in the healthcare industry, which I don't even if very many healthcare industries related businesses and organizations had pandemic in their plans or plague or something in their plans. Probably very few, since it's been 100 years since we've seen anything like this. And again, not an act of God. I think that we'll find down the road where it really came from and how it really came from and why it really came from, because truth will out. The truth comes out no matter how much corruption and manipulation tries to happen. The truth comes out because good always wins. You know, we can understand that there's evil and good in the world, but I'm going to continue for the rest of my life to believe that good will out, good will always win, good will always triumph over evil. Not the little battles, but overall, good wills out. And believe this or not, I believe each and every one of us will answer for our actions here in this lifetime and on the planet. And that'll be different for each of us, and it'll be different for you than it is for me based on what you believe. But for sure, if you put evil into the world, you will answer for that evil. If you put good into the world, you will answer for that good. Again, totally off topic. So sink or swim. This is an idiom that's been around since the 1300s. Chaucer used the expression float or sink, which was turned then from Shakespeare in Henry the IV, I believe. In Shakespeare's Henry the IV, he's use the actual phrase sink or swim. And I think that there's also some, probably from around, I don't remember historically, probably about the 1300s when witchcraft was a big thing and people were worried about witches and they would throw a witch in the water with weights on her and sink her. Forgot to even mention that in our discussion in Supersize Your Business, but now I remembered it because I was watching some witch show the other month and they were hanging witches, burning them, and dumping them in the drink. So that was our idiom for Supersize Your Business today. We're doing 30 days to coincide with the free Get Up and Go challenge, change and challenge related idioms for Supersize Your Business, because it makes it easier for me and more fun for me because it keeps things more on topic. And guess what? I don't know anyone in the business world or anybody that knows a business or any business owner that I've ever met or worked with that hasn't felt like they had to sink or swim in certain situations. It's kind of like, well, when have you had to sink or swim in your business? Not, did you ever feel this way or has this ever happened to you? And then finally, our Get Up and Go challenge today was, we're heading into another iteration of the SOAP framework. We're going through the SOAP framework one day at a time, the S, the O, the A, the P, and each day I share a tool that you can use to help with understanding that part of the SOAP framework, so that by the end of the challenge, we'll have 30 plus tools for people to use that they can have in their toolbox from now on to make their life better, to make their life work more smoothly, to deal with changes and challenges. In addition to installing the SOAP framework through practice and repetition into our subconscious so that it just becomes automatic and easy as breathing. So our tool today was storyboarding. Now, I'm not huge on storyboarding. I forgot about it, but I learned storyboarding in college. We had a storyboard for one of my marketing classes that I took at UTD down in Texas, and we had a storyboard out a product line and a commercial for a product line that we were going to launch. Storyboarding's been around since the 1930s. Either Will Smith or I don't even remember the other guy's name. Just I can't pronounce it. Georges or Jorge or something, Millais or something. Again, it's got umlauts, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But talked about storyboarding. And basically, it's a 4-step process. I actually am reading a book right now where the storyboarding, the transformation process is an 8-step process. But that's a little bit too complicated for what we want to do in the Get Up and Go challenge. We just want to be able to sketch out kind of like a flow chart or what our current situation is and then what we want it to be. Why do we want to sketch it out? We're doing finances. We're going through finances in the SOAP framework. Why do we want to sketch it out? Why do we want to use a tool like storyboarding to identify the gap between where we are and what we want to our story to be? Well, because finances tends to be an extremely emotionally charged area of discussion, and it's really hard for many people to even look at their current situation. You know, we all want to be millionaires or billionaires or gazillionaires, but we're, you know, lost our business during COVID, or we lost our job during COVID, and we're making, you know, a fifth of what we used to make doing something entirely new and different than we were before, or whatever our current story is. So to take some of the emotional charge out of it, we're just going to sketch it out on a napkin or sketch it out on a piece of paper, usually in our little, I always keep my own, and it's different every time. This is a new one. A little journal, a little notebook where I do all my assignments with the challenge. Because I do the challenge right along with people. Every time I go through it, I learn something more. I actually just added storyboarding this time through the challenge because I'm like, well, what's a good tool that I've used that I know would work, that I haven't used before, but could help with this situation? So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to add storyboarding. So we added how to do a storyboard, and we're storyboarding for this particular run through the SOAP framework. So those are the 3 big things I'm working on. And again, over the next 2 weeks, my 6-year-old granddaughter's going to be hanging out with me before she goes to big 1st grade at the end of the month. And I want to spend as much time with her as I can. I think that we need to spend more time with and on the things that are important to us, the people that are important to us, and the things that are really, truly important to us. And when we do that, all the craziness that's going on in the outside world tends to just float away, or we realize that the real impact on us is much less than the doubt, the worry, or the fear of that impact is on us. All right, that's it. That's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow just to document my journey, share some lessons learned, and things that I'm working on along the way as I transition in and out of the offline and the online world of business. Have a great day.